everybody, time to make tea again. It's been a few days. Today what I have in mind for our tea is something to support the kidneys and the urinary system. Now a lot of times people forget about their urinary system until it gives them problems. And you know, we're like that with a lot of things, but it's really good to every now and then take a little moment and care for your kidneys, care for your bladder, and there are some really great herbs that can help us do that. So I'm going to start with goldenrod. This is one of our absolute favorite herbs for the urinary system and the kidneys in particular. It has a bit of a stimulating effect. It's got a bit of a diuretic quality. It does move your fluids, but it's also a profound anti-inflammatory, and it can be very soothing to irritated kidneys. Goldenrod is appropriate for almost any kind of a kidney problem, even including those that are really highly inflamed or autoimmune in nature. You'll see that this particular goldenrod we have here has a lot of flowers in it. That's because we harvested this ourselves. A lot of times when you buy goldenrod, it will be mostly leaf, but we really love to include the flowers in there. It adds like a honey-like sweetness to it, and more of an uplifting, exhilarant quality, which is something this formula is also going to carry. So goldenrod's fantastic. Our next one here is heather flowers. You know, the flower that defines the heath over in England. So heather flowers are wonderful. They're gorgeous. They're these beautiful little pink friends with their little green leaves in the mix. And heather is another nice, soothing, anti-inflammatory herb that can come into the urinary system and quiet down inflammations and irritations there. And just keep things moving along, keep things flowing, which is really the key critical thing to do for urinary health, is to make sure everything's flowing along just the way it needs to. So heather really helps out quite a lot with that. And again, it has that nice light floral flavor to it and smell, and it really does lift the mood, so I'm looking forward to that. And then finally I have some yarrow, and this particular batch of yarrow is making me really happy because it's so green. It's so wonderful. So this came from Foster Farm Botanicals, which are pretty local to us here, and they make fantastic dried herbs. Yarrow has always been one of my favorite plants, at least since I really learned about plants. It's one that I carry with me everywhere I go in my tattoo there. And a lot of times we think of yarrow first and foremost as a liver herb, because it does stimulate the liver and activate it and get it moving. But it does certainly have a bit of a diuretic quality as well. And you know, when we think about eliminative processes in the body, or the way a lot of folks talk about it is as detoxification processes, you got to remember that they don't operate in isolation. So when you support the liver, it's a good idea to put something in there to support the kidneys as well, and vice versa. Because you want to make sure that all of your systems are humming along, working well, and operating in concert. So yeah, so we've got that in our mix today: yarrow, heather, and goldenrod. And again, this should be a nice urinary system support tea, and it should also have a bit of an uplifting and exhilarating quality to it as well. So I hope you find that interesting. And remember, if you don't have these exact herbs, you can work with others. You can find herbs that have similar qualities, similar flavors, similar activity, or maybe from a related botanical family. And try that out and see if that gets you what you're looking for, right? Always be willing to experiment. If you listen to our podcast, then you might have heard our most recent episode called Learn Herbalism Like an Instrument or a Language, where we're really drilling on that idea of you gotta feel it in your body, you gotta do it, you gotta do it to know it, right? So check that out if you haven't heard it already. And get out there, make some tea, and experiment. Play with it. That's the only way to learn herbalism.